Welcome to the Nerd Party.
Let the filibustering begin.
Welcome to Nerd Party.
Hello and welcome to Filibuster here on the Nerd Party Network. We're home to so many great podcasts from Nerd Nuptial, Great Shot Kid, Missing Frames, Owlpost, SETI Alpha 3, Punch It and everyone in between. I want to say thank you to everyone who listened to my interview with the Neon Demons Madeline Woolner on our last episode. I'm glad you all enjoyed it and thanks for sharing all your feedback you left on Twitter at Join Nerd Party, on Facebook /The Nerd Party and on Instagram at The Nerd Party. So today's interview is one I recorded all the way back in June with actress Emily Beecham, who many of you will know from the Coen brother movie Hail Caesar, and Scottish director Peter Mackie Burns to discuss Daphne, which is out officially in UK cinemas as of today, September 29th. We spoke just before the official UK premiere here in Edinburgh. Daphne follows the story of Daphne, a 31-year-old Londoner. She has busy days, hectic nights, friends, people, lovers, and they're all welcome distractions from the constant creeping feeling that her life is somewhat stuck. Too young to settle quietly, too old to keep on messing about without aim, one night an unexpected and harrowing event slowly but steadily forces her to confront this existential limbo head-on and start looking very closely at the person she is to become. Emily actually went on to win the Best Actress prize at the Edinburgh Film Festival for this role. So, I hope you'll seek out this movie, and thanks again to Emily and Peter for joining us here in the Nerd Party, and to Altitude Films for putting this all together. Enjoy the show. So how does it feel for you, for example, like to bring this movie to Scotland, to like show it in the kind of your home country, like your first feature film?
Oh, I'm really excited about it. Although the film's set in London, I think if you watch it, I hope you get some sort of sense of a Scottish sense of humour or sensibility in some of the films. So I'm delighted to be here with it. Quite nervous actually, because you know you want to see if a film plays with a home audience or not. You know, so I'm slightly nervous about the premiere tonight.
Scottish audiences never have a problem laughing, so you're always kind of insecure with that one.
Thanks. Well, let me hold you to that one later then.
Absolutely.
I think it's got quite a macabre sense of humour as well, doesn't it? What would you say?
Scotland?
No, our film. I mean, Scottish people have, you know, a great sense of humour.
I couldn't possibly comment.
I think you're definitely right there, because
like that.
Especially your character, like it's such sharp pointed,
yes,
like,
exactly,
abuse in a way, and it's very Scottish, that passive aggressive.
That's what I was trying to,
Like in London, you can imagine people maybe taking an issue with that. In Scotland, be like, oh, she must really like me. She was being really quite
swearing at me. She loves me.
Yeah.
What was it like that attracted you to this movie? Like, you're obviously such a big name at the moment. You can have your pick of any sort of movie.
Oh, well, thank you.
Very much.
That's me buttering you up. That's my job. Well done.
Yeah, okay. I'm going to answer way more questions for you now.
Great. Okay. I'll have a slot of coffee.
Well, Peter and I met how many years ago now? Six years ago, and we'd made.
Yeah, I think I just left school.
Okay. Yeah, he was a little boy, and 6 years ago, and we he talked about with a short film with me. We were introduced by an agent, and then in the end he figured I wasn't the right age for it. He was like, oh, never mind. And then 2 years later, he contacted me about making a different short, and I really like his movies. I don't know if you've seen his other.
Yeah, I've seen Milk.
They're so good. And it was exactly the type of thing that I wanted to do. I really love independent film, and I love stories about
people.
Yeah, people. There's and he, you know, makes interesting stories about people, and then we made Happy Birthday to Me, the short film, and then it got picked up by the Bureau. So doing this film, I just love the character, and she's just an interesting, unusual character. Yeah, female protagonist, and most of the things often you read are women who are girlfriends, and I'm not that comfortable doing. And this sort of role is much more interesting and more relatable, I think, and I see myself and parts of myself and friends of mine in this character, and she's just so fascinating, and the whole
You've got
really.
every single scene in the movie,
It's
like you're
great.
always there
Yeah,
driving
yeah.
it on as well. Like, was it difficult for yourself, Peter, when, like, I was reading like a interview where you said that you kind of write a character bible for like your characters, like it's an extensive piece. How difficult was it to get your mind into what does a 31-year-old in London think? How difficult was that for you to kind of get into that mindset? And
No, it was pretty easy because I suppose I had a background working in theatre, you know, so I directed lots of new plays and some devised work where you'd make the characters, and I'm a massive fan of Mike Leigh, so that method of making characters, I'm quite comfortable with it. But of course I don't make them on my own. I work with, you know, Emily and with Nico, the screenwriter, and also with the producer, so we all had a sizable, you know, part in the discussions around the character, and I would base the character on a couple of people that I knew and tried to amalgamate them, and I'd speak to Emily about, does this ring true, you know, does that bit of biog seem to sit right with your idea of the character and things. So there was a dialogue, and also with Nico, you know, so the screenwriter, we'd talk quite closely about that. And I think Nico was 31 when we were working on this. Was he 30? Run about that age.
It's news to me.
absolutely. And like,
So it was okay, I think.
yeah. And like, how do you kind of navigate like a character like that, where you dominate every single scene that you're in, and you drive this movie, and like for some people, like the character might come across as like, oh, she's really rude and standoffish, but you're always waiting for her to find that bit of happiness.
Yes.
Is that like hard to kind of keep that up for a whole movie?
Not really, because as we were saying before, like I always find her really, really likable, and even though people might react to her in different ways, I always really empathise with her. I guess that's my job, but I guess she was always using that humour to get on with things, and it's sort of her humour is her armour in a way, I guess, if you say. Yeah, and
Very Scottish.
Absolutely.
yes. So it wasn't necessarily difficult. She was just often deflecting a lot of the time. So she's not really sort of absorbing a lot of things around her. She's I can't. Can you put this any better than me? I don't know if I'm putting this very well, but
no, I think, well, you know, everyone's in a sense, the star of their own life, you know, and no one ever thinks that people don't know and sort of understand them at times. And with Daphne, I think she uses humour as a psychological weapon to keep people away from her, because she's vulnerable. So she has a carapace, you know, which she uses to negotiate the world. And unfortunately, she's just probably, for the character, unfortunately for her, she's probably just been doing it too long and's got a little bit stuck in it. You know?
Tiresome. It can be tiresome just having that constantly on all the time. Especially if you've got like this armour up with, you know, like all this philosophy and kind of the pointed arguments. It can be draining to be on all the time and coming up with such witty dialogue.
I think that it is. She's a provocative person. The character, I think, likes to provoke reactions in people, you know, to disarm them with some humour or some insight. And her background, as we discussed it, she was a philosophy and English lit student who dropped out after the first year.
I think they all do, don't they?
Well, I couldn't possibly comment, but she dropped out because she thought, this is of no practical use to me. So lots of our conversations peppered with references to people she read in first year at university.
Definitely reads like that, because I know I've had those
10
conversations.
years ago.
Everyone's read that one book and they're like, I'm going to milk all of this whatever it's worth.
I bought you know, those pictorial guides or the illustrated guides. Have you seen them? I bought one to Marxism the other day. I was like, I can't understand this. Those you know, it's like a comic. And I thought, well, this will be great. I can bone up in this. I tried to read, you know, Marx and Engels when I was 18. And now I realise I have no intellectual capacity at all. I thought I read a comic. can understand.
You can, at least you managed to make a film, so I suppose that's an improvement.
A different type of thing, but to go back to Daphne, her references, I know she's read lots of primers. You know?
Yeah, the case notes.
Yeah, lots of case notes. And if she meets someone who actually does know what they're talking about, she'd be terrified.
Yeah.
But she wants to find, I think, the idea of life being, at times, slightly superficial. I think she finds it troubling.
Absolutely.
And surviving in London, trying to make a living in London and survive that city is pretty difficult.
On your own?
Yeah, it's a draining.
Especially financially as well. I think you made the point, like London, people from London are being driven out of their cities. Like London in a way isn't filled with people that grew up there, perhaps. Right. It's all the people that are kind of coming in. And
increasingly more difficult to live there and just be a regular working person.
Yeah, absolutely.
That was one of the big factors in talking about or making the world of the story. So we set the film in a specific area that's undergoing just now huge regeneration, which is a metaphor, of course, without being too obvious, a hope for the character.
Yeah, I suppose if you ever see Daphne too, it'll be like a Whole Foods that she'll be working in. And
well, we were talking about that. What did we say? We were thinking maybe an ice skating movie. Maybe she'll be an ice skating mom.
Taking all your action, all your action skills that you've got, you can finally put them into ice skating.
Yes.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
So I think we've left her in the story. She's in a positive place. She's ready to move on somewhere else.
Absolutely.
Not sure where though.
We'll find out soon. And then for yourself, Emily, like you won the Trailblazer Award,
yeah,
a snazzy title in 2009. Here we are in 2017.
Yeah.
Like kind of looking back from winning that award here in Edinburgh to now, like you're kind of showcasing this movie, you're the lead actress, and how does it feel to kind of be back again as the Trailblazer?
I love Edinburgh, and I have come here a lot with the Fringe Festival as well. A lot. I went to drama school, and we all came every summer, and so I've got a lot of nostalgia for this place. I love Edinburgh so much, and my best friend, just went to a wedding here recently. Yeah, I love it. Yeah, I feel very at home in Edinburgh.
And like for yourself, Peter, that I was reading that you were like it was quite a struggle to get this movie made and funded. Like, what kind of advice do you have for people that are struggling to get their kind of funding? And like here you are, like it took time, but you're now premiering this movie. This is your first feature. How did you kind of not want to give up at points? Especially thinking like I've got this script, I don't have the money, and this the first feature.
Well, we were really fortunate with this film that from having made a short film to being on the set shooting the feature, it took a year, and that's extraordinarily quick. So I've been trying to make a feature film for 10 years, and I got very close on 2 occasions, and each of those occasions took about 3 years each. So I would say to anyone who either is a filmmaker and trying to get another film made, or your first one, keep going. That's all we can do. If you want to make them, we just need to keep going all the time. And it can be disheartening, if you're not getting funding, and it's so competitive funding now, But I would say work with good people you like and trust, and keep making films with no money. Keep making little films on your mobile phone or whatever you have, because now it's easier to make a film than it ever has been in terms of technology.
I suppose that brings the competition as well and demands for money.
Of course. But I would say just keep going. I mean, I was very fortunate that I met 2 producers who really got what we were trying to do, and we had a slightly unusual journey in that we'd made a short film with Emily as the prototype Daphne character called Happy Birthday to Me. We took it to a couple of small festivals, and whilst we were taking it to festivals, we thought there's more life in this character, so we wrote a first draft of the feature, and we took the short film and the first draft of the feature to the bureau, the producers. So they read the script, and then they watched the short film, simultaneously, as it were, or concurrently, and it really helped to sell the idea of a film to them, because they could see how great Emily was in it as a sort of prototype of the character.
The Trailblazer Award just wasn't enough to open it up, was it?
No. I mean, you've done a lot of work. You've been. We were very lucky to get her.
Yeah.
And we just we seemed to get on, didn't we, when we met?
God, you're asking that question. Did we?
Did we really get on?
Yes.
But you know, it's a partnership. The film, the writer, the producers, Tristan, Valentina, Emily, and myself. I mean, we all worked on every stage of the film more closely than any other project I've ever been involved in.
And how are you like? Does this feel like the end of it now that it's kind of shown at these premieres, or does it feel like kind of September still feels like a while away before it comes out?
It feels a little while away now.
Yeah.
I mean, we've been out quickly. We were in Rotterdam.
Yeah.
And then we went to South by Southwest in Texas. So this is the third festival, but the UK premiere. And I'm being a Scot, you know, and I used to live in Edinburgh. I'm delighted the film's here. And I'm really interested to see how it plays with a home crowd.
Absolutely.
You know, I'm more nervous about the premiere here than I was either in Rotterdam or in South by. So I'm slightly nervous about it, actually. Slightly nervous.
So, like, kind of our last question before I have to shoot off, like, what's kind of next for you guys? Like, now that Daphne's done, or is there kind of a long period further now of press tours and screenings all over the world? What are you going on to do next?
Well, Daphne's just started its festival run, and we've been really fortunate in that we've managed to sell the film to quite a lot of territories, which is really great. So the film will have a life and it will be seen. You know, which I'm really pleased about. There's nothing worse than making a film that either doesn't get distribution or no one sees it.
Absolutely.
You know, and I think Netflix and Amazon are fantastic for making, you know, people like myself's work available.
Don't scream at camera, they'll boo if the Netflix.
That's it. Yeah, they'll boo. That's what we're up to, and what are you up to next?
I'm doing season 3 of an AMC network thing that I've been doing. So we're starting that in August until April. Oh my gosh, it's going to be a long shoot.
Well, thank you so much for coming here, and good luck tonight. It's a fantastic movie, and you know, you should be very proud.
Thank you.
Really kind. Thank you very much
Nice to meet
indeed.
you.
Join the revolution. Join the Nerd Party.
Welcome to Nerd Party.